Braves are 16-10. The Redbirds are 14-10. Bradley leads the Missouri Valley Conference with a 9-2 record. And Lee, the three-point shot was supposed to be a big weapon for Stan Albeck. It has been an even bigger weapon for Bob Donewald because of Jeff Harris.
Well, Bob Donewald makes no bones about it. Philosophically, he still does not like the three-point shot. The rule is there, the line is there, so he's not going to be silly enough not to take advantage of it. Jeff Harris is one of the top three-point shooters in the country. He's number 12, and he was the big difference between Bradley losing, or ISU rather, losing at Wichita State and Tulsa. They come back, they beat Wichita and Tulsa at home. At Wichita and Tulsa, he was 1 of 14 from the field. Terrible shooting. At home, he was 11 of 22 and made better than half of his three-point shot. So that's something Bradley's going to have to keep an eye on. They're going to have to play tough defense on him all over the floor.
Meanwhile, I think the man to our right would have been a good three-point shooter had he had the rule working for him, but it's become a big weapon for the Redbirds.
Well, I think it has. I think it's also helped their inside game. Illinois State, characteristically in the past, has always worked the ball to try and get good inside shots. And a lot of times what teams could do, and what we did last year, was pack in zones against them. So that, kind of takes away the inside game, whereas now you got a three-point shooter like Harris that, you got to bring the defense out, and that opens up the inside game. But really, I think you can throw all the stats out of this game. You can throw the records out of this game because, this is like 0-0 an all-out war tonight.
It was against Illinois State back on January 19th that the Braves began playing good basketball in that 73-65 victory. And they have won 8 of the 10 games since and have moved into the top position in the Missouri Valley Conference. Right now they're 9-2. Tulsa is 8-2. And the Golden Hurricane will play tomorrow against Indiana State. In fact, Tulsa has 4 games remaining. At home against Indiana State, at home against Bradley, and at home against Southern Illinois. And then they will finish the season at Wichita State.
Well, you can bet that Tulsa is rooting for Bradley or Illinois State tonight just as much as Bradley was on Sunday. You bet J.D. Barnett is watching this at home, keeping his fingers crossed. And apparently the fate of the bad clock has followed us again.
We apologize for the pictures you're seeing. We are getting a feed from ESPN tonight. And so we are getting some strange video. We are also having some problems with the clock here, as Lee mentioned. It is stuck on 3:55, and that's why we haven't gotten the game underway as of yet. Scheduled as a 9:05 tip-off to accommodate ESPN in one of their doubleheaders.
I guess it's a good thing Bobby Knight isn't coaching in this game, or he'd really have a fit, wouldn't he?
He went wild after that game the other night at Wisconsin.
I saw him on a fishing show yesterday, as a matter of fact, on ESPN. It was in the middle of the afternoon, so I guess he doesn't mind that. Kind of odd, though. He kept throwing the seat cushions in the water. I didn't quite understand that.
Jim, does the late start affect a player? Does it really make any difference?
I don't think so. I think once the ball is up and tipped, you forget about time. You forget about the outside world altogether. And, you're just trying to concentrate and win the ball game. And I think playing on national television gives, the players a little added spark, gets the adrenaline flowing a little better. But, I'll tell you, this game is important for Bradley because with regards to winning the Missouri Valley, they want to be in control of their own destiny. They don't want to worry about, well, I hope this team beats this team. They got to say, hey, we got to go out and win our game and worry about us. Because if we take care of ourselves, we'll win the title. If we have to go down to Tulsa and win, then we're going to do it. But they can't afford to lose here and hope that, well, okay, Wichita State will beat Tulsa then. You want to control your own destiny.
And they can do that right now. On Monday night in Creighton, everyone denied after the game that they were looking ahead, but it would be hard not to. You're going up to Omaha where you're supposed to win by plenty, and you come away with a scare. Maybe they were looking ahead to this club or Saturday's game against Tulsa. That's the big one.
Well, fans say, well, boy, the guys shouldn't look ahead. They should concentrate on who they're playing. But, they're human, too. And I'm sure, this game has been talked about since, the game down at ISU. So people are looking ahead, and the players are human, too. And they're looking ahead, and they're kind of say, oh, yeah, we're going to be playing on ESPN this week. So luckily, they got away with that victory in Omaha, and hopefully they can pull out a good effort here tonight.
And good teams win those close games. Bad teams don't. And the Braves apparently will get this one off in just a few minutes so that they can play Tulsa on Saturday. We're just about set for the starting lineup between the Illinois State Redbirds and Bradley. Bob Donowald coaching the Redbirds in his 9th season, but he has lost the last 5 in a row against Bradley. We'll start up front with the forwards. Number 32, 6'8" junior Cliff Peterson, averaging 8 points and 4.9 rebounds per game. For the Braves, number 21, Jerry Thomas, a 6'6" junior, 6.2 points and 4.5 rebounds per game. He had 8 rebounds against the Redbirds last month in normal. Another forward, number 35, the senior at 6'6", Derek Sanders. He leads the team in scoring at 15.6 points per game. He also leads them on the boards at 8.2. For the Braves, number 32, 6'5", junior Greg Jones, 7.8 points and 4.7 rebounds. The center for the Redbirds, number 52, Gerard Coleman, 6'7", 200-pound freshman, averaging 3 points and 2.8 rebounds per game. For the Braves, Luke Jackson, he has started all 27 games this year. At 6'8", he's averaging 6.2 points and 6.7 rebounds. Watch this next man very closely. He'll be all over Hershey Hawkins tonight. He wears his opposite number, 33, Todd Stark, 6'3" sophomore, averaging 8.2 points and 3.1 rebounds. For the Braves at the point, Anthony Manuel, the 5'11" sophomore. He's averaging 8.8 points and 8.3 rebounds. He had that big 19-point night against the Redbirds last month in normal. The three-point specialist, number 23, Jeff Harris, the 6'4" junior, averaging 13.6 points per game. And Hershey Hawkins starts in the other guard for the Braves, 27 points per game and 7 rebounds, and he leads the Missouri Valley Conference in rebounding. And there's Bob Donowald. Apparently doesn't want to get his mug on TV tonight. We'll be back with the opening tip in just a minute.
Effectively, he's going to be guarding Jeff Harris. And Anthony's a lot quicker than Jeff. And I think what he can do is get up and pressure him, pressure his ball handling, so that he can take Illinois State out of his offense. And then offensively, Anthony should be able to get around Jeff Harris and penetrate.
Anthony did a good job in that first game. He held Harris to 13 points. He was only 5 of 11 from the field. And so we can probably look, as you say, for more of that tonight.
Our officials tonight, Jim Bain, Tom O'Neill, and Rick Eichhorst, and the Braves win the opening tip, and they'll have the ball. Anthony Manuel, number 12, guarded by Jeff Harris. Inside it goes to Luke Jackson. Rattles in and out. Rebound, Cliff Peterson. Bounces to Starks, and he'll run the offense. Hawkins on him. Off to Peterson for the jumper, and Illinois State scores first here at Carver Arena.
Cliff Peterson started the season terribly from the field. He was shooting about 20%. He's picked that up and is leading the Valley now at 57.
Jerry Thomas hits from the free throw line.
What we saw that time down is Illinois State being so conscious of Hawk, where Hawk's going coming off the screen. They switched. Jerry Thomas did a great job of rolling after the screen and got wide open for a jumper.
Manuel's got his eye on Harris. Off to Peterson, who scored the only point for ISU. One bounce start inside Derek Sanders. Goes up in a crowd and hits. In the first game, Illinois State shot only 38% from the field in the first half. And they shot only 41% in the game.
Starts right there with Hawk. He's all over it. Good defensive job so far.
Manuel bounces off of him, runs into the lane, passes to Jones for the short hook, and that misses. Gerard Coleman collects the carry. Dishes off to Stark. Here he is bouncing to Sanders. Over Jerry Thomas. And Thomas is called for the foul. Score the basket.
You know, I got to give Sanders credit. The last 2 times down the floor, he has got excellent position on Jerry Thomas. And he's a big, strong kid. Once he gets positioned inside like he is right there, there isn't much you can do. Either he's going to score or get fouled or both, as in this case.
You know what he doesn't have in size, he makes up for with thinking ability. He's really smart. He's a senior. And as you mentioned, comes down, gets position right away, three-point play.
And a 7-2 lead for Illinois State. And Sanders has 5 of those 7 points. Anthony Manuel, way outside to Jerry Thomas, out of his range, so he dribbles baseline, races around the defender, and lays it in. Thomas with 4.
You mentioned in the open, Jim, I couldn't really hear you because it's so loud, but I got the idea what you were talking about. Hawk is going to have to look for other people to help him out tonight.
Yeah, it looks like JT from the start is going to be the guy.
Blocked by Greg Jones, and the Braves have a big break here. Manuel dishes to Thomas for the That's
one thing Illinois State can't afford to do. They can't afford to turn the ball over and let Bradley get their running game going. They're going to be in big trouble if they do that.
Starts guarded by Hawkins, so he gives it up, and Coleman hits.
Coleman started the last 4 games for ISU. He hasn't played that well the last couple.
Manuel draws the foul, but the basket did not go through. It'll be on Jeff Harris, his first.
This is a good example of Anthony being a little quicker than Harris, getting by him, penetrating to the goal. Good play.
He did that really well in the first game, too, especially in the first half. He split the defense. Dan Albeck's got to be happy with the play of Anthony so far. He's playing pretty smart ball, making some good passes, getting out on the break very well.
And another thing that allows Anthony to do the penetration, Coach Albeck wants Bradley to keep their offense a little spread, keep the paint open, because Illinois State does so much switching. They want to spread it out and leave room for penetration like Anthony just did.
Watch for the press.
Almost strange to see Manuel go down the middle, because lately he's been shooting almost exclusively three-pointers. 43 of his last 58 attempts from the field have been from beyond the arc. He hit both free throws, and then we get a foul against Greg Jones as the Redbirds try to bring it across the timeline. And that will be the second foul called against Bradley, the first on Jones.
A little of that 2-2-1 full court we see Bradley throw up against people a lot. ISU didn't have too much trouble in that first game. They broke it there. That trap is the key right across that court, isn't it?
This is Stark, top of the circle. The jumper no good. And the rebound to Hawkins, who's averaging 9 a game. Just below that for all games, but 9 a game in the Missouri Valley, and then he hits his first 2 points of the night. And the Braves had their first lead.
Well, I don't think Stark could have done much more on that shot. He was right in Hawk's face. There's not much you can do about that.
And give the Redbirds credit. They did an excellent job of getting back on defense. They had 4 guys against Bradley's break that time.
Coleman hits the off-balance shot, and the lead seesaws back in favor of Illinois State.
I tell you, that guy could be another Hank Corley. He's a big guy, menacing inside. Wait till he gets a couple of years on him.
No one on Hawkins as he gets the pass, and the bucket. Bradley leads again by 1. Here's Harris with a three-pointer, and he's perfect, shooting 53% on three-pointers this year. He's attempted a total of over 200 shots. 144 of them have been from three-point range.
Peterson's guarding Hawk right now off the switch. They can try and get Hawk the ball so we can take him one-on-one.
Give Manuel a three-pointer. So he exchanged bombs, and it's 15-14 Bradley.
Or Anthony should shoot the three-pointer. I was just going to say that.
Good call, Coach.
Take your word for it.
Really, I was.
This is Starks driving the baseline, dishes, and it spills off the rim. And then Sanders is fouled by Anthony Manuel.
Boy, Starks is quick with that second step. He took the baseline, he got there in a hurry.
You know, one thing you notice, you think of Illinois State, their pass team, is that they're usually very deliberate, but today I don't notice, them being very deliberate. They're coming out and taking the shots when they have them right away. Kind of surprising.
Bradley with a 1-point lead. We'll be back in a minute.
A Of the 3 leading corn insecticides, only Diphenate gives you control without compromise. Control of both rootworms and cutworms. Counter compromises on cutworms by just suppressing them. And when it comes to rootworms, Lorazban compromises on consistency of control. Only Diphenate doesn't compromise on either rootworms or cutworms. Diphenate. Control without compromise. Guaranteed.
Emergencies can happen anytime, any place, even in your own home. Illnesses or accidents don't have to be life-threatening to require professional help. At Methodist, we take your emergencies as seriously as you do. We've designed our emergency center to get you treated as quickly as possible, with convenient parking and physicians on duty 24 hours a day. And if your problem turns out to be minor, your charges will be too, thanks to our Ready Care program for minor emergencies. Methodist Medical Center. We take your emergency as seriously as you do.
For a limited time, McDonald's presents Double Features.
It's back, but it's not alone.
The return of McDonald's Double Cheeseburger. Sizzling, unforgettable, tastes real good. And introducing double fries, a sensation, a masterpiece, a lot. Yes, that delicious double cheeseburger. Yes, a double-sized order of regular fries. What more could you want?
Coca-Cola?
A Coke. Yes, if you eat only once this year, make it McDonald's Double Features.
Too Close for Comfort. Weekdays at 4:30 on WEEK.
Here you see the Bradley Braves. One of those young men will be our North Point Video Plaza Video Bradley Player of the Game later on. North Point Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of whoever we choose to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. Braves with a lead.
And with red-hot shooting, they've hit 6 of their first 8 field goal attempts. And Illinois State also shooting well. They're 6 of 9. Bob Donowald's team has come in here to Carver Arena and hit nothing but net. 15-14 Bradley, but Illinois State has the ball, and they can get the lead back with a hoop. Starks dribbling on Hawkins, bounces to Harris. Sanders is double-teamed.
You watch Jeff Harris run through their offense. He does a lot of things Hawk is doing now. ISU's picked up a little bit of Bradley's patterns. They try and turn him out and get him open like Bradley does for Hawkins.
Gerard Coleman doing what Hersey Hawkins does, and that's scoring to give the Redbirds a lead again. And the Braves throw the ball away. The pass was intended for Luke Jackson.
I got to give Coleman some credit. He's come down here and made 2 good turnaround moves inside the lane. You know, he's in a hostile crowd here, away from the road. He's playing well. You like to see that out of a freshman.
That's the matchup of the future right there, Luke and Gerard Coleman, and Coleman got the best of that one right there.
Luke charged with the foul. His first, and the 4th against the Braves here with 14:39 to play in the first half. And Illinois State leading 16-15. Harris will inbound. Finds his man in Sanders. Whoa. Just like in the playbook. 7 points for Derrick. He's almost halfway to his average already.
Somebody got lost defensively there. We're going to see Donald Powell come in.
Peterson comes up with it off the scramble. And then Hawkins steals his pass. Thomas had it blocked from behind.
Good strip by Coleman.
Peterson's blocked. But a foul call. Donald Powell checks in. Hersey Hawkins is charged with a foul. And here it is.
Good classic break by Illinois State. Good job by Pearson. Take it right to the hole. Make Hawks try and make a great defensive play. Ended up getting a foul.
Great block, though. Got him with the body.
Cliff Peterson will be at the free throw line. He was 6 for 6 on Sunday against Tulsa at the charity stripe, but he was 0 for 7 from the field.
Well, Peterson's their best defensive player, so they don't really expect a lot of scoring out of him. He only had 70 points last year, and now he's up around 160 or so for the season, so he's really improved in that area.
It's a 20-15 Illinois State lead. Manuel pushes the dribble up the floor against Harris. Now works it left side, nothing open there. Donald Powell into the ball game, the junior from Nowata, Oklahoma, averaging 15 points a game. He's number 24. And Jim Bain blows his whistle. away from the ball. It's on that man, Cliff Peterson.
Apparently he was hanging on to Greg Jones.
Thought he was wearing number 33 instead of 32. Here's 33. Hawkins on the dribble to Manuel outside the arc. Watched by Harris. Thomas with a turnaround that rims the bucket. And the Redbirds take the ball up the floor with a 5-point lead. 13.5 to play in the first half. Sanders around Powell and dunks it.
Nice, strong power move. Good head fake. Donald Powell, shot blocker. Donald, is prone to go for some of those fakes. Good job by Sanders to give him that fake.
And he bought it all the way, too.
Greg Jones tried to bank it off the glass. Donald Powell makes sure on the rebound.
And coming right back in your face.
We talked a lot about Jeff Harris and his three-point ability. We're seeing plenty of dunks, though, tonight. A lot of inside stuff.
Mark, we're seeing a lot of scoring. 12 minutes, 12:45 left, and it's 22-17 already.
Stark misses the jumper, and the Braves take over. Well, in that first meeting, there were 75 points scored in the first half. Greg Jones adds a couple for Bradley and brings the Braves within 3, 22-19.
Braves with a press. Now they fall back.
So meeting number 1 was a pretty high-scoring affair in the first 20 minutes, too. There's Donald Powell doing what he does best, clearing the boards. The Manuel drives the baseline, wants the shot up and open, and then the ball is stripped away on the pass by Derek Sanders.
Good help by Sanders that time to pick it off.
Playing a great game tonight, has 9 points, too. Harris open, and another three-pointer for Jeff Harris.
Offensively, we haven't heard from Hawk. I think the reason Bailey's down right now, 25-19. In fact, they haven't gotten the ball to Hawk. And also, partly it's Hawk's fault. When he gets the ball in the way, I think he's got to look more to go one-on-one. He's too nice a guy. He's giving up the ball too soon.
Powell is short, gets his own rebound, and he's fouled from behind. End of the ball game for Illinois State. Keegan's Matt Taphorn. And Ricky Jackson.
Good inside speed to Donald. Good fake. Takes the ball up strong.
What he does best, boy, from the waist over, he really leans in hard and goes to the basket.
And with those long arms, he makes up ground real quick.
He didn't play against ISU in that first game. Of course, he was on the bench with a broken wrist. He's got a lot of motivation tonight to do well.
Misses the free throw. The foul was on Peterson.
Something to consider. Coach Donald took Starks out of the game, and the reason being, he's been fouling Hawk all over the place and doing a good job of keeping the ball from Hawk. So now I think they're going to bring Taphorn in and say, okay, Matt, you foul him around for a while. Keep the ball from him. And it's a tiring job.
I guess.
Gerard Coleman walks. We've got a timeout on the floor with 11:32 to play. And Illinois State leads Bradley.
Bradley basketball telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of WEEK and Bradley is prohibited.
Well, Lee, I was eavesdropping on Stan Albrecht's conversation with the Braves.
Shame on you.
And he had 2 things to say. One was 25 points with 11:32 to go in the first half is way too many. And 2, he was getting on the big men. He felt the big Illinois State big men were scoring too easily, getting good position. And Jerry Thomas, Greg Jones, Donald, and Luke, they can't allow that if Bradley's going to be successful tonight. So try and look for them to clean that up.
Give ISU a little credit. They're not playing the game that they normally play, but they're staying right with Bradley.
The Braves rebounding has been a problem the last couple of times out. On Saturday against Wichita State, they were out rebounded 45-29. Here's Donald Powell going inside and getting fouled by Gerard Coleman. Earlier I had said that Peterson was charged with a foul. It was indeed Coleman, so that's his second. And Donald Powell will go to the free throw line.
Again, Anthony with a good penetration, and he ends up getting the ball to Donald. There you see Taphorn with a good defensive job. Well, Well, we didn't really see the play. We saw
Hawk, though. Well, Hawk was good. Good defense by Matt
the
Tapper.
game.
Yeah.
Well, you said, Jim, you can expect them to give a lot of extra attention to Hawk. He's used to that. These guys really do a good job on him.
Donald having his problems at the free throw line where he is normally reliable at 74%. But he is 0 for 3, now 1 for 4. 3 points for Donald and a 5-point lead for Illinois State. Starks in a lot of trouble. Finds Matt Taphorn out of Pekin. Here's Sanders on the baseline, uses the head fake, but doesn't get Powell to clear. Taphorn drives and shoots over everyone, but he's short, and then the ball is stolen away from Tony Hollifield, who's in the ball game for the first time tonight. Hawkins.
That was Hawk's chance. Starks got caught up in a pick that time.
Redbirds can make it a 7-point lead. Manuel trying to work the steal. And on the rebound, we get a whistle from Jim Bain and a foul on Tony Hollifield. He's had all kinds of problems with fouls this year. He's fouled out of 8 games.
Tony Hollifield's had all kind of problems. He lost his starting position to Coleman. He's been sitting, folks at ISU say he tends to kind of fall asleep and go in the corner.
There's a look at Jeff Harris.
I think Coach Donowall was a little upset at the shot Matt Taphorn took the last time down, so consequently he was subbed for it. That's usually the way it goes.
Peterson came in to replace him. And now little Todd Stark pulls down the rebound, doing a good job in all those trees. Coast to coast and lays it in. At the 10-minute mark of the first half, the Redbirds lead by 7. Trevor Trimpe about set to check in for the Braves at the next stoppage in play. Manuel holds high against Harris. The lob to Donald, and he blows the layup.
I don't think he could decide whether to lay it in or try and dunk it, and he didn't do either one.
Hollifield shows him how. 29-20, Illinois State.
Bradley's not exactly flat, but they're seeing a lot of the same thing they did Monday night. A team coming out sky high for them.
Hawkins goes inside and scores, and there's a whistle on the play. Trimpe checks in for Bradley. He'll replace Greg Jones. And the foul's on Tony Hollifield, so he has 2 in a hurry.
Finally, Hawk got a little breathing room. Made a nice move, hung, double pump. But the foul was before the shot. Trevor's in the game now. I think we look for Trevor to take some 3-pointers, kind of open up, that defense. Watch the defense next time down. Illinois State is just clogged right in the lane. And it's tough for Hawk to get open for Anthony to penetrate. So Trevor's in the game. Try and get some outside shooting, loosen up the defense a little bit.
They play man-to-man, but they sink in there and sag off and help a lot.
I think it's a man zone.
Don't say that. Bob Donowald wouldn't want to hear you say zone.
Illinois State possession. Illinois State possession on the jump ball.
Illinois State will keep the ball. Luke Jackson will check back in for the Braves.
Jackson.
And he'll replace Donald Powell, who has the Brian Bosworth look tonight. At least on one side. There it is. Well, he's from Oklahoma.
No purple there, though. Maybe some purple and orange in there if you're going to go for the Bosworth.
29-20, Illinois State leads with 9:05 to play in the half. Starks bounces baseline. Peterson without an opening. Goes a long way to find one and gets the ball to Derek Sanders. Here's Harris, works around the screen set by Sanders, but Manuel's on him all the way. Inside Hollifield, fakes on Luke. And Jackson is charged with his second.
I mentioned Hollifield was having his problems and lost his starting position. He's playing a lot better off the bench. There you see good position. Takes the ball to the hoop, gets Luke off the floor.
Hollifield shoots 2.
Again, Bradley can't afford to give up that position inside.
Hollifield had a horrendous night at the free throw line against Bradley last month. In fact, he's already better than he was last month because he was 0 for 6, and a lot of folks thought that if Tony could have hit some of those free throws, ISU could have won the game. It was a lot closer than an 8-point game for most of the second half.
Well, Hollifield was 0 for January. He was 0 for 17. You hear some ISU fans in the background giving him a big cheer for making 2 free throws in a row.
Luke Jackson comes down with the rebound and is fouled on the play by Cliff Peterson, number 32 for the Redbirds.
For a slight instant there, Jim, you saw a little aggressiveness out of Lou. He's got to do that if Bradley's going to do well.
Goes up, gets his... You know, this is a good shot for Luke in there. But it's good aggression. Seeing him go after his miss, strong. You like to see it. You know, the ball, you keep doing aggressive things like that, positive things, and the ball is going to start dropping for you.
There's a good look at Matt Taphorn.
He's back in the ball game, and Paul Wilson will check in. But he can't right now because Jackson missed a free throw, and then Thomas missed on the rebound. And now Hersey Hawkins and Tony Hollifield play patty cake.
Sophomore from Lorain, Ohio, Paul Wilson replaces Jerry Thomas. Foul is on Hawkins.
Hersey's third foul.
He has 2.
Make it 2.
1 in bonus to the Redbirds. Shooting at halftime for $2,200.
There you get a look at Bob Donewald. At the Cheese Glove luncheon today, he said the wins over Wichita State and Tulsa were probably the best 80 minutes of basketball for ISU since the '85 season when Lou Stefanovic and that crew were playing for ISU. So you know they're playing well.
Boy, Tony Hollifield's knocking them down tonight. Maybe I'll think so. Thank you.
No, he's getting everything. He's gone to a free throw guru. He's knocking them in. What's that, 4 of 4?
Check the Ouija board. 33-20. Illinois State by 13. Boy, is that an unlucky number for Bradley. 8:16 to play in the half. We've got Manuel down baseline to Hersey Hawkins, who drives and lays it in. When the Braves start having trouble, this guy takes matters into his own hands. The good thing for them, he does. He has 6 points. Taphorn holds the ball way outside.
You know, we talk about Stark guarding Hawk. Watch Anthony guarding Jeff Harris next time down.
Stark connects from the free throw line. The lead back to 13.
Got to look to get the ball to Hawk now. Let Hawk take over. He hasn't got enough shots yet.
Wilson with a 3-point shot, and he misses everything. And then Trevor Trimpe goes for a ride on Photography Row. We'll take a break.
For Bradley, they trail by 13, 7:40 to go in the first half.
Well, they were down by 12 on Monday night at Creighton and shot a horrible 36% from the field. They haven't shot that poorly in this game.
6-3, 17B, row 6.
But they have missed some easy shots.
And section 11, row F is in Frank.
The Redbirds with Stark, Taphorn, Hollifield, Sanders, and Harris. This is Harris. Couldn't throw up the 3-pointer. Manuel over to cover in a hurry.
Bradley going to a 2-3 zone here, changing up the defense. The man wasn't working that well.
Taphorn wide open.
And the zone's not going to work that well if they give wide open 15-footers.
Not from that guy. He'll knock him down.
The lead is 15 with 7:10 to play in the half. Paul Wilson holds it high, dribbles on Taphorn, goes to his left to Hawkins, who drives and lays it in.
Hawk did a great job that time of avoiding the charge. He'll get called for that every time when he takes the ball into the hoop.
I think Hawk has got to be selfish here. Every time he touches the ball, he's got to go look towards the basket and create something, either a shot for himself or a shot for a teammate. Now in the zone, the Braves got to be conscious of Harris. Don't let him get an open 3-pointer.
He is, but he's a little long. Hersey Hawkins had it blocked off the glass, and that should be a goaltend.
Well, it's definitely going to be a block on Harris.
Good pass by Anthony. Give Hawk some time to catch, get his feet planted, and go up.
I don't think Stark's got the ball.
If Stan Albeck had written the rule book, that basket would count. However, since it does not, Hersey Hawkins will step up to the free throw line where he's hitting just under 79%. And if he hits this, he'll be in double figures.
You know, another point to be made here is ISU has taken Bradley's crowd out of the game. The crowd is somewhat silent, and that has helped them a lot. Give them some confidence.
When you run out to a 13-point lead, it tends to do that.
Almost stolen by Jackson, but Jim Bain says that Luke touched it last. He nearly came up with a steal.
Now, somebody's got to light a fire under Luke. They need him tonight. ISU's not as strong inside as they used to be, but they've still got a couple of pretty good guys with Hollifield and Sanders.
Ball stolen, belongs to Bradley. They trail by 11, 37-26, with just over 6 minutes to play in the half. Harris has done a good job on Manuel. Great play by Anthony Manuel.
I don't know if that was a pick or what that was. Trevor hit when Anthony went by. Knocked Harris off of him, though.
The Havana Shuffle.
Is that what it is?
The Redbirds thrown away, but it was last touched by the Braves.
Trevor used to do that to me all the time last year. That's what roommates are for.
And it goes to Starks. Bullets a pass outside to Taphorn. And then he throws it away and rolls out of bounds off Jeff Harris. And Bradley can cut the lead to 7 if they're successful on this trip up the floor.
Paul Wilson doesn't get a lot of credit defensively. Give him credit that time. He got in the passing lane, created a little confusion. Bradley gets the ball.
Ricky Jackson into the ball game, the freshman from Mount Morris, Michigan, where he used to be a teammate of Iowa's Roy Marble at Beecher High School.
Watch Hawkins Starks now. Starks isn't worried about anybody else on the floor, just Hawkins. And that's enough to worry about.
Hawkins. A dozen for the Hawks. And only a 7-point lead now for Illinois State. It was as many as 15 a few minutes ago.
Bradley's in a zone, but they're playing a very aggressive zone. It's good to see. They're out denying passing lanes, rushing the shooter.
Trimpe pokes it away. Bradley ball. Trevor Trimpe has not played much in the last 3 games, only 17 minutes. He was a starter for much of the first half of the year.
He hasn't scored in the last 3 games either, but a great defensive play that time, great hustle more than anything else.
He's making his playing time count in this game. 4.5 to go in the first half.
Randy Blair in the ball game for ISU.
He's guarding Wilson, the Richwoods graduate. Trimpe drives baseline, bumps Sanders. Wilson with a bomb. Yes.
The crowd is coming back into the game.
And so are the Braves. They're only 4 points down. Jackson.
23-16.
Manuel fires one out. That's a 2-pointer. The game is a 3-pointer. Loose ball. Starks picks it up.
Coleman.
Gerard Coleman almost got a technical.
Bradley Bench wanted one.
For the Redbirds, Harris back in.
Jeff Harris checks back in. The foul is on Derek Sanders, and let's take a look at it.
Sanders has 1. 1 in bonus for Hawkins.
That's one way of stopping them.
The Illinois State lead is 6. Hawkins has 12. Make it 13.
Bradley bench wanting to know if Anthony Manuel's shot was a 3. They're convinced it was.
Hersey came into this game needing 36 points to break Roger Fagley's single-season mark of 739. He has 14 so far, and the Braves have pulled within 4 points of Illinois State.
Almost every dealer will offer you cash back and low financing, but only University Ford gives you up to $600 cash back. Financing as low as 3.9%. Plus, 4 days and 3 nights in Orlando, Florida free. Now, only at University Ford. Get cash back, low financing, plus stay in Florida on us when you buy your new or used car or truck today. Before you buy, get the facts. At University Ford, your 5-star Ford dealer. 3403 North University, Peoria.
This is Bill Elliott in the Coors Racing team. Now, you might think we're sitting around here talking about hard work, determination, the winning edge, and all the skill it takes to make a great racing team and a great beer. Nah, we're talking about fast cars, pretty women, and easy drinking Coors, but not necessarily in that order.
Love Connection, weekday mornings at 11:30 on WEEK.
With Lee Hall and Jim Les, Mark Strauss back at Carver Arena. It's Bradley trailing Illinois State 41-37 with 3:26 to play in the first half.
So you notice both teams are playing with much smaller lineups than what they started with. Bradley, in essence, going with the 3-guard offense, and so is Illinois State. I think we should look for the pace to be picked up a little bit here.
It's interesting, Jim. Bradley went to the 2-3 zone. That didn't really shut ISU down, but they've gotten back into the ball game.
Well, it hasn't shut them down, but I think it's created a little tenacity for them. You know, they're getting out, they're jumping the passing lane. Some of the things they weren't doing in the man, and sometimes a change of defense will create a little more enthusiasm for the team.
Bradley puts the pressure on in the ISU backcourt. Manuel going for the steal, but they work it across the line to Sanders, who hands back to Taphorn. Now Ricky Jackson off to Harris, not open for the three-pointer. Trimpe on him in a hurry. Harris is open on the other side of the floor, but Jackson spots him too late. ISU working right into the teeth of the Bradley student section. On the zone, if you watch Anthony and Hersey, they got the hard job to do. They got to, in essence, cover. Stolen away by Manuel from Sanders.
Anthony, a good job there. He walked.
And that'll turn it back over to Illinois State.
Defensively, he does that very well. He sags in there and really gives those big guys fits.
Yeah.
Swipes at the ball.
The big guys shouldn't be bringing the ball down there anyway. But now, defensively, as Illinois State comes down, watch Anthony and Hersey. Now, those two guys have to guard the 3 perimeter men for Illinois State. It's a tough job. They got to do a lot of running. But they're great athletes. They can do that. That's what makes the zone so effective.
Here's the bounce on the baseline to Sanders. Jackson had it stripped away. Harris hustles after it. But it goes out of bounds off the Braves. And Illinois State will have it anyway.
Jim, you guys played a zone a lot last year, so these guys know what they're doing when it comes to a 2-3 zone.
Coleman beats Taphorn, and then he gets into trouble. But apparently not as much as the Braves, because the foul will be on Anthony Manuel. That will put Illinois State into the bonus. That's the second foul on Anthony. And Richwood's Randy Blair checks back in for Ricky Jackson. The Braves are not taking advantage of the absence of Todd Stark. The guy that gives Hersey all those problems when the Braves have the ball is sitting on the bench.
Blair will come in for Taphorn, apparently. Matt's been slowed this season by an ankle injury. He sprained it in practice back in December after a game at St. Louis.
This is the free throw, but Sanders is there to collect the carom. He stepped on the baseline.
Blair replaces Matt Taphorn.
And now Blair checks in, and Taphorn checks out. Still 41-37. No one has scored since the last timeout. So about 2 minutes have gone by and no bucket. We've got 1:45 to play in the half. Manuel short on the three-pointer. And then Jim Bain calls the foul on Randy Blair. Or at least on the Braves, Hersey Hawkins.
On Hersey Hawkins.
That's 3 on the Hawks.
Now, Hawks should know better than to go up like that when he doesn't have position. There were a lot of fouls in that first Bradley ISU game. They spent all night at the line, it seemed like.
And the Redbirds didn't cash in. They were only 8 of 24 from the charity stripe in that first game. The Braves went to the free throw line 34 times. They hit 20. And Blair hits there.
Not to see him with that Richwood green and gold, isn't it?
He averaged 22 points a game last year for the Knights. And he gets a couple there. Starks back in the game. Hawkins lost the ball. Last touch by Bradley. Manuel and Blair both went after the ball in front of the Illinois State bench, and apparently Manuel got his hand on it.
And now we're going to see what ISU likes to do quite a bit. Bring their defensive player on, put Jeff Harris back in on offense. Do a lot of specialization switching like that.
Randy Blair did a good job defending Hawks. Caught that turnover that last time down.
Here's Harris, but a whistle before the shot, and it's on Derek Sanders. Away from the ball. He was trying to get open.
What Illinois State was trying to do against Bailey Zone was set a screen on the bottom man of zone, which was Trevor Trempy. What they did in essence was a little hold and hug down in the corner.
None of the friendly type.
No, and the ref caught it with the help of Coach Allbeck.
Yeah,
who you probably heard him at home yelling.
They scared me to death the way they jumped off the bench. My goodness.
Trevor Trempy at the free throw line. And now he's back on defense. After missing the free throw, the Braves trying to bat the ball away. But it goes out of bounds off Paul Wilson, Tony Hollifield, and Jerry Thomas from left to right checking in. Derek Sanders takes the seat. 1 minute, 20 seconds to play in the half, and Harris with the turnaround. Taphorn misses the short rebound. It was right there. Johnny on the spot, but it's spilled off the rim. Braves trying to cut into a 6-point Illinois State lead, and Manuel does not. Rebound tipped in by Trevor Trempy.
You know, Trevor doesn't jump very high, but the key to rebounding is positioning. Trevor had great position for the tip. He's also on the left side of the basket, and he scores to the left.
Averages 4.2 rebounds a game, and that's not bad for a guy who only plays about half the game.
That's the first time he's scored since the Dayton game. He was 0 for 3 in the last 3 games and didn't take a shot against Creighton on Monday night.
20 seconds on the shot clock, 37 on the game clock.
You know, the fans are probably wondering where Hawk is. Well, Hawk has 2 fouls. Coach Allbeck doesn't allow him to pick up his third in the last minute here.
Starks regains possession of the ball with 22 seconds left on the clock. Only 2 on the shot clock, but Harris walked before he got the shot off, and the Braves will have the ball and 18 seconds to work with.
You know, obviously ISU was holding for a final shot or to use up the 45-second clock at least. But a good job there in the final seconds when the clock was winding down. Bradley shut him off.
It'll be interesting to see here who's going to take the last shot for Bradley with Hawk on the bench.
They've got Manuel, Wilson, Luke Jackson, Thomas, and Trempy. 9 seconds on the clock. To Manuel with 6 seconds. To Wilson with 4 seconds. And a foul. Randy Blair is charged with it. His first. Wilson will go to the free throw line.
I got to believe you got to let Paul try and make that shot. Don't foul him. You know, there's 3 seconds on the clock. If he's going to make a great shot, good, but you don't want to put him at the line in this position.
He's shooting 74% from the line, and he pulls Bradley within 3 points.
Yeah, you give a guy, he's shooting maybe 40% from there, and you've got 2 guys on him. You don't want to foul him, for crying out loud.
A perfect trip to the line. 3 seconds for Illinois
on the
State,
line.
but he steps on the line. And the Braves have the ball. No time comes off the clock, and Bob Donewald is beside himself.
Inbound violation. Bradley
You can see it on the screen. Watch his left foot. There it is. Right on the line.
That was the Bloomington shuffle.
Bradley can tie the
to the
game
life
here.
of Bob Donewald at all.
And it goes to Wilson. Shoots immediately. The Braves. It's Bradley 50 and Illinois State 49 with 16 minutes precisely left in the ball game. Our statistician tonight is Terry Cole. Inside, Hersey Hawkins lays it in. Hawk with 16.
Excellent screen by Donald to free up Hawk. Instead of a good screen on Peterson.
He's 7 points away from moving into 4th place on the all-time Bradley scoring list. In and out for Stark. Rebound Powell, and he was fouled. Or is the foul on Donald? Let's take a look.
On 32, Peterson is...
Again, we see because of the zone, you see Trevor and Donald having good inside position, controlling the rebound.
And Cliff Peterson is charged with his third.
And it's going to get a little physical.
I think so.
Manual walked as he tried to squeeze his way between Harris and Stark. Todd Starks is not very big, but he causes a lot of trouble, doesn't he? Only 175 pounds. That's what the program says. Should have a question mark next to it. His pass inside is batted away, but a whistle by Rick Nyhorst.
43, Ricky Jackson.
And it's on Donald Powell with 15:07 to play in the ball game, and Bradley by 3. That's Donald's first.
Foul on Paul, his first.
With the schoolyard play because no one was open. Bounces into Sanders. Outside, Jackson. Sanders.
Sanders is so strong inside. He jumps well. Put that ball right off the glass. Good shot.
Had a big game against Bradley last month. 12 points and 15 rebounds. Hawkins, three-pointer.
Hawkins picking up the line on that time. Looked down at his feet, eyed it up. He hasn't had that time, all that time in about 3 weeks, I think.
55-51. Sanders couldn't cut the lead, and the Braves come out of there running. Manuel surveys the situation, gives it up to Trippy for the 3. In and out, rebound Hawkins, hammered from behind, no call. Redbirds race up the floor. Jackson across the timeline to Harris. He had designs on shooting the three-pointer. Starts inside he goes. And a foul on Donald Powell, his second. That'll bring Cliff Peterson back into the ball game.
Starks got loose all by himself in the lane. Boy, he can jump for a little guy.
Illinois State's really moving the ball well against the Bradley zone. They're getting some good shots.
Todd Starks has played some of his best games against Bradley. 8 points and 8 assists in the game last month. And a year ago, 17 points and 9 rebounds.
And Bob Donewald says, forget the free throws. Let us just have the ball out of bounds.
Well, Todd Starks forgot about the free throws. He missed them both. And then we get another whistle. Trevor Trimpe is charged with this one. The first for him.
Team foul, 4.
And Bob Donewald gets his wish. The Redbirds have it out of bounds. But without the 2 points that Starks could have gotten them. This is Starks with the ball, guarded by Manuel, went for the steal, ran into the official. Starks pushed into the backcourt, but the call will be over and back, and Bob Donewald near erupting on the ISU bench.
That's just a good, aggressive defensive play by Anthony. And again, something we talked about coming in the start of this half. Illinois State can't afford to turn the ball over like that. Just great hustle by Anthony. A little help from the referee.
Well, he might have a drive. Domino effect. Manuel ran into Harris, and Harris ran into Stark.
He might have a gripe on that one.
Braves by 4. Braves by 6. 21 points for Hersey Hawkins.
Again, Donald Powell, great job on the screen. Watch down next time down. He's really helping Hawk get free.
Hollifield loses the ball, kicks it. Peterson saves it. He's in trouble. Stark dishes it off, and Ricky Jackson scores. 57-53 Bradley. Here's the Hawk to Jerry Thomas, who is unguarded. Every time Hawkins gets the ball, he's like a magnet, and somebody opens up. Ricky Jackson him that time.
Ricky Jackson was on Hawk that time down the floor, and he obviously had trouble guarding Hawk. Hawk drew some pressure and got the ball away.
12:40 to play in the game. Bradley trailed by 15 in the first half, led by 1 at halftime. They're up by 6 now. Ball swatted away from Peterson, but the Redbirds will keep it. Harris checks in. Ricky Jackson checks out.
Is the key possession for Illinois State. I got to believe they got to get a scoring opportunity here because Bradley could run away with this thing. They're playing very well at this time. Illinois State's got a counter.
Shot clock is down to 14.
Peterson off the pass was fouled by Jerry Thomas. Look at Anthony Manuel.
On Jerry Thomas. Thomas has 2.
Things have changed from the start of the season when Manuel would be looking around for help. He's starting to set the tone and set everybody straight.
Illinois State's offensive philosophy versus Bradley's zone is simply try and get the ball in the middle to either Sanders or Hollifield. Now, if they don't have a shot in the middle, try and dish off to the wings for the easy shot.
Peterson sinks both free throws at 59-55. Lots of time left. 12:20. Starts on Manuel as he crosses the timeline. Holds the ball high to Trimpe. Baseline Hawkins. And Rich Eichhorst blows the whistle on the Braves. Jerry Thomas picks up another.
Thomas has 3. Team foul 6.
Thank you for the demonstration, Mr. Albeck.
Was that the duck walk?
They keep using a little elbow there.
Well, nobody's innocent inside, believe me.
What happened to no blood, no foul?
Sanders goes up in a crowd. No good. Peterson rips down the rebound. Blocked by Donald Powell, but they're going to call a goaltender. Will check into the ball game with 21 points. He has failed to score 20 or more only 5 times this season. Sam Skerrich in the ball game for Illinois State, the son of the former Illinois State assistant coach. He's number 24, and the Braves have the ball. Manuel going to the hoop, and Jim Bain goes to the whistle. The foul's on Illinois State. Bradley City just cleared out the side for Anthony. Put everybody on the left side of the floor. And that must have been the play coming out of the huddle. Hey, Anthony, you know, I think you can take Starks one-on-one, take him in a hole, beat him, draw the foul. Second foul on Starks. Emanuel with 13 points after canning the first.
Watch for Bradley to go into that full court press out of the make.
He was 10 of 12 from the free throw line at ISU. So he got 10 of his 19 points by that route. Here's the pressure by the Braves. Peterson with the ball in the front court off the pass. Double teamed. He's in trouble. 5. Didn't call it, though. Starrett off to Peterson. And Stark says, give me that thing. Give me the rock. Inside Sanders. He throws a rock up. Braves try to increase the lead to 6 on the run. Jerry Thomas. Double figures for JT.
Man, he was flying.
Foul line jumper. Starrett off the front iron.
Great athletic play by Hawk. First of all, to catch the ball, then he had the presence of mind to get it up on the glass, and Donald made a smart play hustling for the tip.
And the fans come to their feet at Carver Arena. The Braves lead by 8 with 10.5 minutes to play. Hollifield on the baseline. The Redbirds just can't penetrate. Hollifield does. But apparently on the pass to Tony, Trevor Trimpey got his leg on the ball. That'll put a new 45 on the shot clock. It'll put Hollifield on the bench.
Trevor's got a career in the Major Indoor Soccer League. He doesn't do anything after he graduates. He gets a foot on the ball all the time.
He's a great goalie. Coleman gets ISU on the scoreboard, 65-59.
Official timeout.
Shot clock wasn't starting, and Stan Albeck saw it.
Boy, the Braves have been having more trouble with clocks than Rip Van Winkle did the last couple of weeks. Creighton, we had trouble. The 45-second clock did not start when Illinois State threw the ball in. It didn't start when Bradley got the ball either.
Stan wants them, because of the malfunction with the clock and because there's the possibility that it could happen again, he would like 15, 10, and 5 announced in the event that the clock is not working. So we have an official timeout here so that Stan can explain that to the Braves, and so Bob Donewald can do likewise with his Redbirds. So they get sort of a freebie with 10:01 to play and Bradley leading by 6.
And now the clock's working.
We'll take a break, too.
If you don't get out of my way, there's a couple of ways I can handle this. I can go around you, I can go through you, or I can just do what I do best.
Basketball by Barkley. Shoes by Nike. Available at Brown. To get the most from your corn crop, you need maximum performance from your corn soil insecticide. That's why top growers depend on Counter with its unique Action 3. Counter controls rootworms, wireworms, and other major corn pests 3 ways. With proven contact, systemic, and residual control for consistent control and superior performance. Put your money where your crop is. Get Counter with Action 3.
Too close for comfort. Weekdays at 4:30 on WEEK.
immediately following the game, News 25 Nightside with Tom McIntyre and Shelley Dankoff, Bill Houlihan's weather, and the latest sports highlights, and they will be late tonight for Paul Wappel. News 25, the team Central Illinois depends on.
I saw Paul bring his pot to work today, so he's ready.
It might be News 25 Morningside the way things are going.
10 minutes and 1 second to play in the ball game, and the Braves leading the Redbirds 65-59. All the clocks seem to be working. I've even wound my watch. They're working, and they're not even playing. They can only get them to work when the ball's in play.
Oh, you're asking quite a bit.
Our next Bradley telecast will be a week from tomorrow night on Thursday against the Drake Bulldogs, the final game of the season. The Braves can't go anywhere after it. And we'll have it for you at 8 o'clock right here on WEEK. The rematch, I'm sure Gary Garner would like to settle the score, which was a pretty tall one in Des Moines.
Well, the troubles they have winning on the road, Bradley's got a good chance at them. Might be the second straight celebration they've had here against Drake. You remember that, don't you?
I think I got thrown out of that game, didn't I? I think I won a sportsmanship award before the game, and I got thrown out for fighting with a minute to go. Could you believe it? Me fighting?
Trying to cut the nets down before the game was over.
A nice guy like me fighting. Are they kidding?
Yeah, there's a nice guy. Trying to figure out what to do here. Braves up by 6 with 10 minutes to play.
Well, here's the trivia question.
Okay.
Has the 45-second clock ever run out on Bradley this year yet? So do we really need it?
No.
Is anybody going to miss it?
Well, Stan Albeck doesn't want it because he doesn't need it. He'd rather have it off. That puts the other team at a disadvantage. Right now, it's being explained by Jim Bain to Stan Albeck when the announcements will be made.
You make a good point, Mark, because ISU likes to use a lot of a clock, and they won't really know exactly what's going on. And we've got flashcards. Oh, I hated those things in grade school. 5 times 4 is?
Look, they're starting the auction for the Auction Expo already. So the clocks have been turned off. Only 1 second expires off the game clock, and Todd Stark is charged with a foul.
And everybody's got their arms full.
Third on Todd Stark. Bradley Percy Hawkins has 3. So do Jerry Thomas and Luke Jackson. Trevor Trimpe almost steps back in the backcourt. Here's Thomas, wide open. The lead is 8, and Thomas has a dozen. His career high is 14.
Anthony played wide receiver there on half-court line.
He's got the body to do it.
For a wide receiver?
Sam Skerrich. Baseline Sanders, back to Skerrich, now starts to Peterson as the Redbirds working around in a hurry.
Offensive tackle, maybe.
I wouldn't tackle him if he was running at me, I'll tell you that.
20 seconds left before they have to get a shot off. Skerrich takes care of that. I'm going to say on the shot clock, but I should have said on the flash card. 67-61.
Skerrich is a really good shooter. He's 4 of 7 now from the three-point line in the Valley. That's why he's in there, to give a little extra offensive punch to ISU.
Trimpe inbounds to Anthony Manuel, watched by Stark, throws up the 3 anyway, and it rattles in and out. Almost drained it. That would have hurt the Redbirds. Peterson takes the shot and hits it. He's been open on that right wing a lot. A dozen for him. The Redbirds have gotten balanced scoring. The Redbirds haven't gotten as much as the Braves. And no one has as much as Percy Hawkins. 23 points for him. That's 4 under his average. And that puts him past Paul Unruh into 4th place on the Braves' all-time scoring list. By Trimpe.
New shot clock, 45 seconds. New shot clock, 45.
They'll put a new 45 on the clock. which isn't operating. Coleman misses on the turnaround. 8:08 to play. Bradley leads by 6. Hawkins with a three-pointer. Got it. 26 points for Hersey Hawkins. He needs 10 more to break Roger Fakeley's single-season record. He might get it. Hawk steals. Manuel runs it across. Gets the screen from Trimpe. Out to Hawkins, but he threw it away. One of the reasons the Braves had so much trouble at Creighton on Monday was the 7 turnovers by Anthony Manuel. It had been a long time since he had problems getting the ball to his teammates.
Well, he had real problems that time. Trevor set the pick. ISU's defense switched, and he had Derek Sanders all over him. About a 2 or 3 feet height advantage there. Oh, maybe not that much.
7.5 to play. Sterrett is short. Coleman rolls it in.
You'll have to give Trevor
And Gerard Coleman and Donald Powell want a piece of each other, and here comes Jerry Thomas, and the bench is empty here at Carver Arena. Powell throws a punch. Hollifield in there to try and take care of things, and then Luke Jackson. And everyone is out on the floor here at Carver Arena. Stan Holbeck out there trying to push his team away. Well, you said it, Lee. You said it was going to get physical. I don't think we expected to see this, though. Stan Holbeck might need to talk to Doug Comer. Stan Holbeck has dislocated his pinky. Last year it was Chuck Daly. This year it's the ISU Redbird.
No need for that.
Playing peacemaker, Stan appears to have dislocated his pinky. You could see it broadcast position as he walked by. And Doug Comer's apparently popped it back into place. We have a timeout on the floor with 7:20 to play in the ball game, and Bradley leading 70. Donald Powell and Illinois State's Cliff Peterson have been ejected from the ball game. Peterson had 12 points. Powell had 5. And now they're deciding about the rest of the math.
Flagrant technical foul.
They are both flagrant technical fouls. And each team will have 2 free throws on those technicals.
Be awarded as in all jump ball situations.
You've been in some messy situations before. Boy, that was a scary one.
Well, you know, Mark, we all know this is a very emotional game. And what you want to try and do is you want to play hard, you want to play aggressive, and you don't necessarily want to back down to anybody. But you also have to use your head. You know, both Peterson and Powell are very important to their ball clubs. And they got to say, hey, you know, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to throw a punch, I'm not going to push because I'm important to my team. So you play hard and aggressive up to a point, then, you know, you got to take control of your body and take control of the situation and realize that, you know, sitting on the bench, you're not going to help anybody.
I think Donald especially needed to keep that in mind, too, because his team has the lead.
Hersey Hawkins will shoot the free throws for the Braves. Remember that Luke Jackson will take Powell's spot on the floor as Hawkins hits the first. But Luke has 3 fouls and no points tonight. So the freshman will have no one to back him up. He will need to play well the rest of the way. Hawk 1 for 2 on the technical, so he has 27 points. That's his first miss at the free throw line, incidentally, tonight. He's 5 for 6. And now Jeff Harris misses the first end on the technical free throws. Also, Jeff's friends are here, look. So it's a wash in that department. The question is, who will miss whom more? Will the Braves miss Powell more than the Redbirds will miss Peterson? Peterson's played a good game.
I said who or whom?
Look at the next jump ball situation.
This is just it. I don't know. My wife That's the music teacher. Doesn't teach English now.
I'm no help.
Have to check with someone else. The shot clock is working.
It's important for Bradley to get a stop here. They can create some momentum. The crowd's back into the game. Get a steal or miss rebound.
Harris with a three-pointer that won't go. Sanders rebound, stripped away by Manuel. Here come the Braves. Hawkins blocked. Out of bounds. Bradley has the ball.
I think Hawk might have misjudged Todd Stark's jumping ability here a little bit. I think Hawk took it in a little too soft. Just was going to kind of lay it up, and he might not have seen Stark coming from the corner. Boy, he got up.
What a great athletic play. A couple of 6'3" guys that play much bigger. Hawkins takes the three, almost drew the foul. Hits the deuce. Christy Hawkins has 29 points.
Well, that was a payback for blocking his shot. You don't mess with Hawk. Don't block his shot because he'll get you back.
Harris with the bomb, no good. Manuel on the rebound. Braves lead by 9. Here's Hawkins. Misses. Tipped in by Jackson. Those are Jackson's first points of the game. Bradley leads by 11 points. And then Coleman is fouled by Trevor Trippey with 6:12 to play. So this game has come full circle. Illinois State led by 15 in the first half, and now the Braves with a double-figure lead of 11 here in the second half.
And again, turnovers are killing Illinois State, rarely creating offense with their defense.
Gerard Coleman at the free throw line. A good night for the youngster, 16 points. But he's 0 for 3 at the charity stripe. Luke Jackson. 4 points for Jackson and all after Powell was ejected from the game. And Bob Donowald says, boys, let's talk it over. 5:53 to play. Bradley 79, Illinois State 66.
North Point Video and Plaza Video might want to consider renaming it the Hersey Hawkins Player of the Game Award. Give him an assist there to Luke Jackson.
Well, there you saw. One guy could guard Hawk, so Illinois State threw 2 guys at him. Well, they had to leave someone open. It'd have to be Luke Jackson.
Hawkins has 29 points. Anthony Manuel has 14. Jerry Thomas has 12 for Illinois State. Coleman 16. Peterson, who's been ejected, 12. And Sanders, 11. Bradley leads 79 to 66. That's 77-66 as you saw on your screen a moment ago.
With
Lead of
5 minutes and 46 seconds, Bradley, they can't let down. Illinois State isn't out of this game by no means, especially with a guy like Harris shooting 3-pointers. They got to be conscious, play good, solid defense, take their time on the offensive end.
Here's Starks with the ball. Inside it goes to Sanders. Turnaround jump is good. Sanders has 13.
You make a good point, Jim. They got down against Southern Illinois at home and came back and actually had a chance to tie it on a last-second shot. Don't count them out yet.
Luke Jackson underneath. He's bumped, but he lays it in. And the freshman is coming through in the crunch. 6 points, and all in the last 2 minutes.
I think the fight got Luke a little riled up.
Why is he so open now and he wasn't earlier?
I think this Hawk is getting away from him, and they're trying to double-team Hawk.
Here's the turnover. Manuel back to Trimpey. Got a little too fancy. Hawkins drives to Thomas as 3 men stag on Hawkins, and the play works. They're calling a charge. They're calling a charge on Bradley. It's on Jerry Thomas.
Player control foul. Thomas has 4.
4 fouls on Thomas. Well, it's sort of a relief that it wasn't on Hawkins. I thought perhaps that maybe they had seen something before the pass. 81-68. 4:45 to play. Bradley leads, but now it's 81-70. 15 points for that man.
We think these players who will not help anyone. Please don't throw objects on the court. Thank you.
Inside to Hawkins. He's fouled. Will the basket count? I think so.
Yes. Boy, is he fun to watch. Watch Hawk come curl around the screen, starts trying to get caught up on Luke's screen, and that's all Hawk needs is that 1 second. He hangs, he draws, he flips, he makes it. What more could you ask for?
For the 13th time this season, Hersey Hawkins has scored 30 points. He steps up to the line with 31, only 5 short of Roger Fagley's single-season mark. He can draw one closer, and he does.
Mark, does that mean he passed me up already?
I think in the first week of the season. He's had quite a year.
Well, I'm looking at Roger sitting up in the stands. He's got a little look of concern up there.
Ironically, Fagley set that record in his junior season, too. Now Hawkins with a great defensive play, and Jackson finishes off.
When you see Hawk smile on the floor, he's always got that serious look. After Luke's jam, he was almost laughing on it there. Having a good time.
Starks couldn't come up with a steal. Braves by 13, 86-73 with 3:42 to play in the ball game. You saw Tony Hollifield check out. Ricky Jackson comes in. Lots of substitutions for Illinois State. In fact, we'll just reset the 5 on the floor. They've got Randy Blair, Jeff Harris, Gerard Coleman, Todd Starks, and Derek Sanders. The Braves have the ball.
It's their defensive team. Little quick guys to hawk the ball.
Starks quick enough to strip it away from Hawkins and then go the length of the floor.
Surprised they didn't pick him up full court.
Manuel on the drive. Ricky Jackson on the foul for Illinois State. Now Jackson and Blair check out. Skerich and Harris check in.
More of that offensive-defensive substitutions we talked about earlier. Skerich and Harris, they're offensive guys. Blair and Jackson come in for defense.
Manuel with 14 points, had 19 at Illinois State last month. Braves lead by 11. They still lead by 11. Isaac shoots it, misses it. Luke Jackson couldn't save it for Bradley, and the Redbirds will take over, trailing by 11 with 3:12 to play.
Watch for the Bombers.
Harris hasn't been open to shoot threes very often, but he is this time, and he misses. Gerard Coleman with the rebound, he walks. Substitution for Bob Donewald.
Jackson Blair back for the Redbirds.
Welcome to Illinois State, Sam Skerich.
Well, I'm getting tired watching these guys running it out. And I'm just sitting here. They're doing more running to the bench and to the court than they are when they're on the court.
Bob Donewald trying to pull all the strings. Our statistician, Perry Cole, tells me that Jeff Harris is only 2 for 10 from the field. Both of those shots that he made were three-pointers. Fouls on Bradley. And Luke Jackson is saddled with his fourth.
Luke got caught trying to free up Hawk on a screen.
Luke has 4.
Now they do that so much during a game, I guess you'll see them get carried away a little bit on one maybe that they don't have a good shot at.
Well, I think now what the refs are trying to do is keep control of the game. And you know, the game's been called a little tighter since the fight broke out. Make sure nothing stupid happens. And that's a good, good officiating by them.
Ricky Jackson at the free throw line, hits the first. Misses the second. Bradley's lead is 10.
Look for Brady to run some time off.
Jerry Thomas goes inside. And Gerard Coleman goes after him, so he's charged with a foul. That's his third. Here come the subs again.
His third foul. Harris is Jerry's second for Redbird. Jerry Thomas at the free throw line.
ISU doing anything they can. Well, it looked like he really looked like JT stepped on his foot as he went by.
Yeah. That's a foul in my book. When in doubt, give it to the home team.
All the folks in normal can address their letters to Gillette.
Mr. No blood, no foul over here.
Forget about that part of the demographic.
Well, now that we're winning, we'll take those close ones.
JT's woes at the foul line continue. But not for long.
87-76 Bradley. 2:20 to go in the ball game. Garrett looking for the three-pointer. Nothing doing. Harris says, I'm open. Give it to me. Garrett shoots it instead and hits it, and he's done very well from the field tonight. A three-pointer for that man. An 8-point lead with 2 minutes to play.
Got to give Garrett some credit running in, off the bench like that, coming in firing. He's doing a good job.
Bradley will keep it. Bob Donowald will keep making substitutions. Garrett and Harris out. Blair and Jackson in. And we have a timeout on the floor called by the Braves with 1:53. Derek Sanders has 4 for Illinois State. Starks and Coleman in the same boat with 3 apiece. Bradley with the ball up by 8. 1:53 to play. And the Braves will try to take as much time off the clock as they can. Here's Jackson baseline. Does a little dribbling. Not so good shooting, but he's fouled after picking up the garbage. And let's see who this is against. Remember, Sanders has 4. It's on Randy Blair, though.
Blair has 2. Luke Jackson at the free throw line.
Luke was nowhere to go, so he takes it to the middle, goes to the bucket. There's Blair with a foul. One of those little mosquitoes are real pests, aren't they? Yeah, that's what they do best.
Hey, watch it. I was a mosquito once myself. You got to give Luke some credit. He has really played aggressive since the fight. I don't know, maybe someone should hit him before the game starts.
Yeah, we'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
Next home game.
I'm smarter than that.
Pressure by the Braves. The bounce up to Skerritt. Stan Albeck wanted the over and back call. Doesn't get it. Coleman runs into a brick wall and Trevor Trimpe. Harris on the baseline. Bounces it off Trimpe's foot. 1:26 to play. Illinois State down by 10.
Give them credit. They haven't quit yet.
And it goes to Sanders, and in it goes. ISU wants a timeout as they pull within 8. 17 points for Derek. And 1:22 left to go in the ball. By 8. The executive producer of Bradley Basketball is Brad Longwell. The director, Mike Wells. Our producer, Steve Shaw. Our associate director, John Crawford. Our administrative engineer, Ken Tompanelli. Our technical director, Steve Schmidt and Bud Wilson. Our audio man tonight is Rich Klein. Our graphics specialist is Frank Rice. And our statistician is Terry Cole. The real brains behind the whole thing.
Illinois State trying to put some full court pressure on Bradley, create a turnover.
Bradley with the ball and 1:20 to work with, and Todd Starks doesn't let the clock run down too far before he fouls Anthony Manuel. Only 1:19 left to go.
And we mentioned that we could name it after Hersey Hawkins. He could arguably deserve it tonight, but Luke Jackson will be our North Point Video and Plaza Video player of the game. Played very well after Donald Powell was ejected and kept Bradley in the driver's seat.
Had it not been for the 10 points he scored since Powell was ejected, the Braves not only might not have a big lead, they might not have one at all.
Technically, it would be player of the half.
Player of the last 5 minutes.
That's fine.
But for the sake of change, we'll give it to Luke.
North Point Video and Plaza Video will donate a scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund at Bradley in Luke's name.
Manuel hits both free throws to keep the lead at 10. 1:15 to go. Illinois State Sam Skerrett from the three-point line. No good. Manuel flags it down. ISU had better foul in a hurry. The Braves, who don't use the shot clock much, will milk it here. Kick, and this time it's not Trevor Trippett. Inside a minute, 59 seconds left. Blair and Jackson back. Harris and Skerrich out. They are in when the offense is operating, and there's Sean Morris, the walk-on from Ridgefield, Connecticut. His 10th appearance of the year. He's only played 10 minutes all season.
1 minute and 1.
Manuel on the dribble in front of the Bradley bench. Outside the Wilson with 35 seconds on the shot clock, and he's fouled. And will step up to the free throw line with 48 seconds left to go in the game. That's the second foul on Ricky Jackson.
Harris, Coleman, and Skerrett back to the Redbirds.
This is like watching a hockey team change lines. Except they have to wait for a timeout to do it.
And you'd think they could get on like a little golf cart like they do in baseball, you know, to cart them back and forth. That's a long walk.
Well, Donewald is doing everything he can to get the best defensive players in there when Bradley has the ball and the best shooters in there when ISU has the ball. He's done a good job of it, but the shooters haven't been able to cash in as well as he'd like. Sonny Roberts, a red-shirted freshman from South Beloit, Rockford Boylan High School, appearing in his 11th game.
That guy right there had a very good ball game for ISU.
17 points for Derek Sanders. Paul Wilson can go into double figures if he hits the free throw. He's got 10. Jim Bain blew the whistle. I guess there was some confusion about more substitutions. They won't be made, however. This is Sonny Roberts, number 44. The start, top of the free throw line, or at least the three-point arc. He's short on the bomb. Luke Jackson, our player of the game, with a rebound. 93-81. The Braves put another team in the 90-point club. And then Hersey Hawkins tries to get me the basketball, but I'm not as good a shooter as he is.
Jackson, Morrow, back to the Redbirds.
Rich Klein agrees. 32 points for Hersey Hawkins.
So we'll have to wait till Saturday to see Hawks break Roger Fegley's single-season record, unless he puts a couple in here in the last 30 seconds.
One of the biggest records Bradley has will come in the biggest game of the year for the Missouri Valley Conference title. 27 seconds to play. Braves by 12. Jackson's shot is no good. Coleman steps on the line. Clock down to 20. The Braves will win their 6th in a row in this series against ISU. Mike Cash into the ball game, number 41 for Bradley. And Hersey Hawkins will lead to a standing ovation with 32 points.
These guys want that second ring.
8 seconds in the game. Manuel out to Cash. The Braves don't even have to shoot, but Manuel had designs on it. The game is over, and Bradley has defeated Illinois State 93-81. The Braves are 10-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and they'll play Tulsa on Saturday.